So today we got an early blog article that's going to talk about a lot of things coming to Overwatch Season 2, which starts next Tuesday on April 14th. We're going to talk about the base kits being changed for some heroes like Pharah, Ramattra, Reaper. They're going to get like Dire Triggers, the Pharah Drift Thrusters, Mercy's Flash Heal. That's all being added to the base kit, and they're getting new perks as well as map changes or map voting changes where you can now vote for a random map and a lot more. Let's just not waste any more time and read what the article actually has here. Director's Take, small steps, big leaps. Hey everyone, Alec here, checking in as we wrap up this wild season. Alec is the Associate Game Director for those who don't know. It's been an absolute privilege watching you experience the reign of talent and pick up our newest heroes. Whether you've just joined or rejoined the Overwatch community, or you've been here since day one, we can't thank you enough for coming on this journey and believing in our vision for Overwatch. Looking ahead for Season 2, the Overwatch team and I would like to use this space to give you an inside perspective of how we tackle pain points within the game. When we spot problems or have big dreams for features, we work on short-term and long-term goals to turn our visions into a viable reality. Here's what that looks like for several ambitious undertakings we're focused on in 2026. Number 1, modernizing hero kits. Some of the parts on our ever-moving machine are sparkling and new, specially crafted to fit well into modern Overwatch. Other parts need some tuning to stay competitive and compelling. So, in the short term, in Season 2, we'll be integrating some perks into heroes' base kits to help them keep up with our newer Overwatch heroes and Talon heroes recruits. Okay, I read that wrong, but you get the point. It was important to us that this initial pass of perk integration didn't go too wide. We wanted to take what we felt were the best options for heroes who needed a tune-up. To do that, we had a set of goals we kept in mind. Our picks didn't need to hit every requirement, but fulfilling most of the parameters brought perks into consideration. So number 1, does this perk help an established ability become more functional without adding complication? So Overwatch is already a fast-paced game. We want to integrate perks that would add utility without friction, especially for long-term players used to certain abilities. Number 2, does it heighten or emphasize the hero fantasy? So some perks can lean towards the chaotic side, but others seem to fit seamlessly into a hero's overall kit, history, and vibe. They just make sense. And number 3, does it add utility without too much bloat? Just because we technically have the space to add abilities in certain kits doesn't mean we have to. It takes up an extra button in the base kit and demands a learning curve to integrate that ability into your playstyle. The perk added needs to be meaningful. And then number 4, can it give us more vectors for the hero's balance? Our team is always looking for more levers to adjust when a hero needs balance changes. If the integration of a perk can offer more opportunities to bump a hero in the right direction, that was a huge bonus. But here's the big takeaway points here on what's being added in 4 days. Mercy's Flash Heal perk checks a few of these boxes and will be added to her kit in Season 2. Flash Heal leans into the hero fantasy and makes Mercy more dynamic, offering an interesting in-combat decision that doesn't overly bloat her kit. Next, we had Reaper's Dire Triggers. We felt the addition of a long-range volley into his base kit was a necessary upgrade that justified the use of another input. And then the core concept of Pharah's Drift Thrusters, which let her move during Barrage, will be integrated into her kit to offer utility without requiring the complete relearning of an ability. Check out all of our perk integrations when Season 2 drops next week. There's going to be Lifeweaver with Cleansing Grip, so it'll cleanse status effects and burns and stuff. And Ramattra's Ravenous Vortex, I know, is going to be added as well. This was already told to me and alluded by Alec many months ago when I did the interview with him, so I knew this was coming. It's cool that it's now. I didn't know it was going to come in Season 2. Anyways, not only did we look at the above goals from a balance perspective, but every perk added into baseline kits got a quality pass from our sound, VFX, and or animation teams. They made sure these additions met the same quality standards we have for general hero base kits. This process of integrating perks is something we may do again in the future, but likely not on a regular basis. So if there's something being added to the base kit that you guys are looking forward to that isn't there, you know, you can let them know as feedback, but they can't guarantee it. I'm sure whatever else they're gonna do in store for Season 2 for more base kit stuff probably makes the most sense and has the highest demand right now. We're not getting into the habit of adding perks just to make them baseline in the future, but some perks made sense. They met our goals and offered a way for heroes with older kits to level up to where Overwatch is today. Now again, this was all short-term stuff, adding perks into base kits. Alec wants to talk about the long-term goals. So both myself and other Team 4 members have hinted at this in interviews and on community streams, but we're looking at multiple heroes for reworks later in the year. An extremely early shortlist for us, that's subjective to change, includes Sombra, Lifeweaver, and Roadhog again? Sombra again, Roadhog again? Okay, maybe Sombra needs a little bit, because it's annoying. I think Roadhog is fine. I think this version of Hog is classic to Overwatch 1. Primary, secondary, fire shot. I know they got rid of Pigpen, but this is like more thinking. Lifeweaver is interesting. I actually think he fills a niche and he doesn't need like a complete rework. Hopefully when they say reworks, it's a really minor one. I think he fills the niche of being a purely defensive hero, and that's okay. I don't think every hero needs to be super competitively viable, but people who like Weaver. His archetype just doesn't have as much impact as other supports, but that's fine. There's gonna be people who like have RSIs or like, you know, repetitive strain injuries for their wrist, or they have carpal tunnel and they enjoy a nicer, easier hero like Weaver. Anyways, moving on to what he said. When we create kits and heroes nowadays, we aim for simplicity and flexibility. We want player choice integrated into our heroes so they can excel in different scenarios. Some heroes we're looking at have strongly defined specific playstyles. So I guess that's the defensive style, for example, like Lifeweaver. While that isn't necessarily a bad thing, if changing their kit will improve the overall game health, we'll pursue it. We're also eyeing heroes whose kits we feel have stagnated in some way, or they don't feel as dynamic as their newer counterparts. And as 2026 goes on, likely after Season 3, we'll have more information to share on those reworks. Okay, so that's it for the hero stuff. Now let's talk about upgrading the social spaces. Even if you're a perpetual solo queue warrior, you have to admit that the Overwatch experience is made more interesting by the people you play alongside and against. We build community friendships and important relationships between queues and on our favorite maps. Over the year, we want to celebrate and elevate that social aspect. Okay, so short term. Longtime Overwatch players may remember the post-match voting cards we used to have. As fun as it was to earn a gold medal for spending the most time on the payload, other systems took priority over the years. But we felt something was missing with our current post-match flow. It didn't offer space or time to breathe. Nonetheless, socialize, especially on console. We're so excited that a version of this system is returning to Season 2 with post-match accolades. Oh wow, we can upvote people again. After a match, you'll be taken to a fully 3D landing page to vote for an MVP and engage in reasonable banter. And when they say engage in reasonable banter, do you guys see? Join match voice chat is available in that screenshot on the bottom left. Finally, they talked about this before, but you can join match chat and talk to the enemy team and hopefully say very polite things. No one would ever slur or say some rude things to the enemy team. Yes, with the opposing team during the play of the game reveal. This will be entirely optional, and we will encourage everyone to remember that voice chat is monitored for safety. We want Overwatch to feel alive, and there can sometimes be a deeper connection through voice than through text. Rather than just saying GG in chat when you actually hear a good game from someone who gave you a true challenge, it creates something stronger. Fun, lighthearted banter and genuine connection is, to us, the best way to celebrate a match. Okay, one thing I want to point out is, like, I do like how Overwatch is going back to their roots, and I think what happened, and I know some people who are like, you know, are already like hating Overwatch and are super anti-Overwatch on socials, be like, oh, they're just, they messed up and they're bringing back old systems. What was the point of Overwatch 2? Yes, clearly they messed up and they're bringing back old systems, and I think it's because there's a certain point where Blizzard hired for too much optimization on Team 4. Somebody, I don't know who, maybe higher up, probably wanted efficiency, money, and churn. So it's something I remember reading about where like they over-optimize it by neutering systems to get more turnover rate. You hear this a lot in casinos, if you guys know what I'm talking about. You want like more hands dealt per hour. More hands, like the faster is it called churn? Somebody who's a lot smarter than me can probably give you the right word in the comments. More hands per hour means more money being played at the table. So the idea, I think, somebody on the Overwatch team, super big analytics head, probably said more matches per hour equals, you know, translates to people with retention and they play longer, blah, 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 blah. But the one thing that they always miss out on these analytics is soul and like the feel of the game. And I feel like over optimizing and neutering systems that waste time and you know, aren't as optimal lose soul, and eventually people get tired of it and they will leave in the long term. In the short term, maybe they're right. In a gaming session, because there's no post-match accolades, you're able to get through more games per hour. But like if the core game stinks and it's like frustrating, it doesn't make a difference. You need to have a good core game, and like stuff like this I think is so inconsequential, but it adds much more benefit than downsides. Like the amount of content, the match voice chat that surely no one will say mean things and bad things on, it's gonna be kind of insane on socials, I think. Anyways, that's just something I wanted to point out. Okay, long term though, for the social stuff. So throughout the rest of 2026, we'll be iterating and discussing different ways to make our game more social. One concept we're particularly excited to explore is a competitive event with additional social components. We like the idea of limited time events that encourage social interaction because it gives players a chance to meet new friends and teammates without permanently changing their experience of playing Overwatch. We'll roll out this specific event more like a trial so we can respond quickly to some of its sharper social elements and keep it short to gauge community reception. If you don't enjoy a social event that lasts a few days, it'll be easy to skip. But if systems that are designed to reward you for playing with your friends or finding new ones to queue with pique your interest, we think you'll enjoy what we're working on. It doesn't sound like they're bringing back LFG, like a looking for group system in Overwatch 1. If it's like a short-term thing, maybe it's like a clan thing, like group up, find a team of 5 or 6 and compete in the weekly things. Is kind of the vision that I'm getting from this. Overall, we're passionate about working on social side of things because our team considers this a critical part of Overwatch. Social systems can be hard to put value on since they don't directly translate to balance changes or engagement spikes. That was a word I was missing before. Engagement, because of the churn and engagement stuff, like just faster games per minute, blah, blah, blah. Forgot about that word, engagement. When we build Overwatch beats throughout the year, we like to say we're creating reasons to come back and then reasons to stay. If you're someone who checks out Overwatch every now and then, it should be a more feature-rich experience the next time you come back. New heroes are great to create big moments, but the overall Overwatch experience in and outside of your match also needs to improve between the times you come back to the game. The next heading is elevating our system. So in both quick play and competitive, map voting screen offers the first opportunity for you to influence the trajectory of your upcoming match. Powerful place to set yourself and your team up for success. So we're looking at various ways to level up that system soon. So in the short term, one big change heading to your lobbies when Season 2 launches. When you play on a new or reworked map in competitive mode, you will lose less competitive progress if you don't take home a victory. You'll gain the standard amount of progress if you do win, however. What? Wait, what? Isn't that like zero sum? So you'll lose less if you vote for one of the newer or reworked maps, but you still gain the same amount? Isn't that inflationary? Wait, why would you do that? Okay, that to me is kind of crazy. Is that just your forced way to make people play another map? Is by giving them a competitive incentive? I think competitive should be a good balanced experience where the losing and winning team, they win and gain proportional amounts, but it should not just be tied based on the map vote. Because you played on this map, the loser loses less specifically. I'm not a fan of that. If you want them to play the new or reworked map, you should just give them like XP or something, Battle Pass XP, something else. Why would you give them less losses in competitive? What? Okay, let me see the rationale here. Historically, new or improved maps are selected less often. One of the reasons for that is that these maps are an unknown quantity. It's understandable that you'd rather hedge your competitive bets on a map you know instead of one you've never tried. We've seen this pattern happen many times on our end. Push maps like Runesapi and Esperanza weren't very popular until the community learned them. Now they elicit consistent positive feedback in community sentiment surveys and are voted on more often. There are even more map voting improvements coming with Season 2. We've all seen those screenshots where 9 people in the lobby choose King's Row and the one lone outlier brings the match elsewhere. Now, if a map wins by a certain undeniable majority, we'll make it the winner. We don't want to entirely remove the joy of variety, but when most of the lobby wants something, we want to honor that. Next up, we've all experienced a map lineup that doesn't exactly speak to us. There will be now a new random map button that you can select if none of the 3 maps provided tickle your fancy. There will also be icons to let you know if you're playing on attack or defense during the map voting phase. This isn't a huge deal for competitive modes, but if you're in quick play, it can definitely affect which map you want to play. Finally, there are some background changes with our map recency score. Maps that received votes during the map voting phase won't be as buried as maps that received no votes. This should consistently offer maps you want to play on more often. We want to maintain variety, but also have the map voting process better reflect some of your in-game choices. Hopefully you guys enjoy these changes in Season 2. Okay, back it up. I wanted to finish it before I got ahead of myself that time. I talked about I don't like how you literally have a competitive swing on your losses. It's inflationary. I don't think it's conducive long term for a good ranked experience if you're just simply losing less by always voting for less popular maps. But that being said, I see where they're coming from, but I don't agree. I don't think you should do it. Okay, so actually the one part I wanted to talk on is like we've seen this pattern happen, and then push maps like Runesapi and Esperanza weren't popular until they learned them, and now they elicit positive feedback. So let that naturally happen over time. Yes, like map voting will, people will not vote for maps they're not too familiar with. I don't vote on Atlas that often, but like it still wins sometimes. Doesn't mean I don't play them. And then over time, it should elicit the positive response. And I think you should just leave it at that, especially if you're map voting competitively. Quick play also has map voting, right? Why just keep it there, or just give them an incentive to play the other maps. In competitive, there should never be a compromise in that sense with inflationary stuff, or deflationary in that sense. Or no, it is inflationary because the winners will always gain more, the losers lose less. So you're always going to be net plus. It's inflationary. Okay, the next part I want to unpack, where 9 people choose a lobby and the one outlier wins. I actually like that. I think like mathematically, if 9 people vote Kings Row and 1 person votes the other, like you're still going to play Kings Row 9 out of 10 times. But I think it's kind of like cool that there's that one vote for that one person who still wants to play, because that person will never be able to play a map because the majority will always pick this map. That means their vote pretty much doesn't matter ever, because the majority wants to play this. I mean, I know you want to appease the majority, but at the same time, like, what about that person, the 2 people who like the other, 1 or 2 people who like that other map? It's nice when they sometimes win. Mathematically, they don't even win most of the time anyways, so like, why not give them that? I don't agree with that. That being said, having that random option is kind of nice. It's kind of like pre-map voting era of Overwatch, where every time you queued up, you would just get a random map. So like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I think we should, like, I want to make my voice personally heard, that I think they should just leave the voting as is, where it's like, you know, it'll just randomize between it. Let the math work itself out. The random option is great. That's probably the best part of this entire couple of paragraphs, but the first 2, don't like it. Now we're at the end of the article. Long term, the next system we're spending time improving is hero bans. We believe there is room to help you make more informed bans and eliminate some of the instances where it doesn't feel like the system is reflecting your choices. So in the current ban system, you share one hero choice during the prefer hero phase. While we don't want to extend that phase, we do think we can expand on the information you give and receive during that phase. We're looking at options for you to share your hero preferences a bit more in hopes that you and your team can make better informed ban decisions. We understand that there are times when the hero ban system doesn't feel like it works in your lobby. This can happen when a hero that got a lot of votes on your side wasn't banned, either because it ran into the role limit rule or another choice barely edged it out. We're currently talking about what a 5th ban may look like, something we're calling a lobby ban. This ban would potentially ignore the role limit rule and consider votes for both teams to decide on a final ban. Keep an eye out for more info as this amazing year goes on. GG. Keep an eye out for more info as this amazing year goes on. GG. Well, I think the only thing they need to do for the prefer hero before you hover a hero is, like, you know, when you enter a game and you can like see what level the 3 common heroes that the person plays, they should just show that right on the main page, so like you already have an easy idea. Or have the person pin 3 heroes underneath their portrait in the banning phase to show like the 3 heroes they like. You can pre-pin it, or just, you know, quickly have 3 defaults, and then like if a person opts to pick 3 more that they prefer, that can overwrite the other ones instantly for that match. Just an idea. 5th lobby ban, I kind of like that idea too. That's pretty good. Anyways, that's the teaser that Alec Dawson left for us. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And yeah, thanks for listening to me yap, and got you. Enjoy. Bye.